All right, friends, to get started on our metal embossing art project, several things that you will need. First, a blank piece of paper and a pencil along with your handout. You can look at the handout for inspiration on how to draw your sandcastle or just make up your own. I am looking at one of the images here and it's a sandcastle. So it doesn't have to be symmetrical. It doesn't have to look like a real castle. Think of maybe one you've made on the beach before, just had fun with your family. I'm adding some windows to mine, some details. We will be transferring this image over to the metal. So you don't want it to be really small, tiny details, because that's going to make it more difficult. So the things that you're drawing, the windows, the doors, try to make them pretty large because you really won't be able to have tiny little sections in the metal. So once you're done sketching out, planning out your idea in pencil, then we're going to transfer this over to the metal. So very carefully, you're going to come pick out a gold piece or a copper piece of metal. When you take it back to your desk, you can use one of the tools, one of the embossing tools to flatten it out. We also used these smudging tools once before in a different project. So you want to rub the smudging tool sideways to smooth out any of those cracks or bubbles in the metal. Then we're going to get a piece of tape and we're going to attach the paper on top of the metal. A little foam piece to go underneath. And then you can use a couple different things for this. You can use like a pen, you can use a dull pencil, or you can use one of these smudging tools that we used once before. So you're going to take your pencil and you're going to go back over your lines that you drew. And what's nice about only taping the top part is that you can constantly check it and make sure that it's transferring back over to the metal. So this part is pretty simple because we're basically just tracing back over our lines that we already did. You may need to press a little hard. You may need to go back and forth. And you, like I said, you can always open it and check and see if those lines are really actually transferring over. This is the simple part. The part that we're going to do next is a little bit more complicated because whatever that we're pushing in, later on, we're going to push those lines back out. And I'm going to explain what I mean in just a second. So the next part, we're basically going to be flipping over the metal to the back side and using these smudging tools to press it back out. And some of us may get to this today. Some of us may get to it next week, working on that. But mainly we're pressing out all of those areas from the back side. And when we flip it over to the front side, they're going to look more 3D, like they're bulging out. And I can kind of show that and explain it a little bit more during class if I have some friends get there. But basically the rest of working with this metal is pressing certain forms out and pressing certain forms in. And you'll kind of notice that working back and forth, flipping it from the back side and pressing things out, flipping it to the front side, and pressing things out. So that's basically all that we're going to be doing today. When you're working with metal, please, please, please be careful because the edges are extremely sharp. So you don't want to rub your hand up against the sides. So try not to cut yourself today.